In this week's video we'll show you a fun ride we had at Boston Logan Airport when we transferred from the domestic terminal to the international terminal. We fly in Delta's business class called Delta 1. I will show you what we ate, both gluten and gluten-free. And on the day that we escaped Hurricane Helene in Florida, we're going to land in Storm Aitor that was raging in the Netherlands when we got home. Hello, and we have just arrived in Boston Logan Airport. We're picking up from part 1 of this video where we left Florida for Boston to make a connecting flight here in Boston that will take us back to Amsterdam. The delay due to Hurricane Helene in Florida cut our connecting time from 2 hours and 50 minutes all the way down to 1 hour and 40 minutes. Of course, in normal circumstances, plenty of time to be honest, but we have arrived here at the domestic terminal and we have to connect to the international terminal. On the plane they announced that passengers who had to go to the international terminal can take a shuttle service here and stay airside, so we don't have to clear security again. At the end of the terminal there was the elevator that would take you down to the shuttle. Downstairs you're literally lined up against the wall and there you wait for the next available shuttle to come. I'm Chris, by the way, for those new to the channel. I travel a lot. I travel with my wife, sometimes for business, but mostly for pleasure. We decided to start to vlog our trips because basically we are forgetting all the places we have been, all that we have seen. So this is a nice way of making videos of stuff that we have enjoyed and that we have experienced. And those wondering about my accent, we live in the Netherlands, so I'm sort of switching between Dutch and English in my mind as I'm talking. So this might end up in some strange grammatical errors that I make, so please forgive me for that. The shuttle ride is great. It takes you over the platform between the terminals. Of course not so great if you're worried about making your connection, but we had enough time so we could enjoy the airplanes on eye level basically, and we even saw our own plane getting ready for us to board it pretty soon. The whole process took around 35 minutes, and that is counting from when we deboarded our plane and entered here the international terminal. We didn't have time for a lounge visit, but I thought it would be nice to look what the flagship lounge here of Delta would look like. So we went looking for it, followed the signage, but then sort of came to a dead end with a Emirates lounge and a British Airways lounge. So we must have taken a wrong turn somewhere. Let me know in the comments if you do know where the lounge is. That would be handy to know for any future trips here at Boston. But for now we run out of time, so it's time to go to the boarding area. I normally don't really look up the weather when traveling. Of course, Hurricane Helene sort of changed that, and I also looked up what the weather is going to be when we would arrive in the Netherlands. Of course, expecting clear skies and everything, Storm Aitor was hitting the Netherlands exactly as we were planning to land in Amsterdam. So I was happy that we were departing on time, but not too sure if we would make it in Amsterdam, and there was a chance that we would be diverted because of this storm. This was the first time I'm flying transcontinental with Delta, also the first time on an Airbus A330 for me, and also the first time flying in Delta 1, which is Delta's business class product. Lots of firsts. Unfortunately, we had the old Delta 1 seats, not the new suites that they have, but you know, I can't complain because it's an absolute luxury to be able to stretch out in a flat lie seat. Unfortunately, the person across the aisle from me, her seat didn't work, so they sort of manually made it a flat bed for her so she could sleep, and then before landing they sort of manually put it back up in the seating position. The seat was comfortable, it does feel a bit of compact in there. Of course the TV monitor is dated, but it's still actually a decent size. My biggest gripe with this seat was the complete lack of storage space. You get your amenity kit, you get your blankets, you get your headphones, and there's no space for your stuff, especially if you're trying to vlog everything. Amenity kit was branded Missioni, nothing really special in it as you can see.
Should be out here in just a few minutes. Once airborne, about 6 hours and 25 minutes flying time to Amsterdam.
The captain came by and greeted everybody on board, which was a very nice touch, I think. The rain picked up as we were being pushed back, and this has a nasty consequence for me filming because the camera tends to film on the raindrops on the window. And of course that happened when a seaplane taxied by, which of course I've never seen at an international airport. It was very cool to see a seaplane taxi by, but I couldn't film it. An hour in, the meal service started. My wife is a celiac, so that means she has to have gluten-free food, which Delta provided. So Delta serves you the whole meal, and then take out when you're finished with your starter, the starter, and replace that with your main course, but the rest on the tray remains the same. My wife had the same starter as I had, which was a smoked salmon. It was actually very nice. I'm not sure about the salad around it, but the salmon was good. My wife also got a gluten-free cookie, whereas I got a piece of bread, and she also had some watermelon. As a main, my wife got a chicken breast with quinoa. It looks very dry, but actually it was quite moist, and the quinoa was actually very nicely flavored. The plating, however, at Delta leaves a lot to be desired. What a mess. What wasn't a mess, still looked it a bit, but it was my braised short ribs that I had. I pre-ordered these, and they were lovely. The meal just fell apart. A lovely sauce with it, and some nice potato. Yeah, thumbs up for this course. I got my macro lens out to film the dessert. It was really tiny, and it really didn't taste that good. Mr. I never sleep on a plane fell asleep. I think I had 3 hours of sleep, which was very good. It makes the time fly by. And the bed was comfortable, and the cabin was nice and cool, which I like. They served a nice big breakfast. Unfortunately, it tasted very bland, so not my favorite. But I do have to give Delta some credit compared to the food Virgin Atlantic served on a 13-hour flight to Los Angeles. This is massive portions compared to the nouvelle cuisine that Virgin Atlantic was serving. If you spot those little red lights outside, those are the red lights of the wind turbines that are in the middle of the North Sea. Storm Aitor didn't give us any troubles until now, as we were descending into the Netherlands. The turbulence was increasing. And then there was a big jolt, and the captain ordered everybody back to the seats, including the crew. It was very bumpy all the way down. Some very dramatic skies there with the colored lights. But not the worst turbulence, but there were some unexpected jolts that are quite dangerous, really.
Welcome to Amsterdam. Local time is 5:27. Please stay seated with the seatbelts fastened and the carry items stowed till the aircraft is parked at the gate and the captain turns off the seatbelt sign. Please be careful when opening overhead bins to avoid injury from items.
Back in the Netherlands, they greased the landing, which was really good. We didn't expect to be back in the Netherlands on time with the hurricane in Florida and the storm here in front of the Dutch coast, but we made it. We made it back. My final thoughts on Delta and their Delta One product. It's good, it's adequate, it's not the best business class you can get transatlantic, but it's very decent. The seat was still good. I'm looking forward to try the new business class seat in future flights. The service on board was also good, not too personal. They were a bit distant, but that's fine. They served everything on time and they were actually visible in the cabin, unlike the Virgin Atlantic crew that basically disappeared on our outbound flight. I have flown across the pond with the other American major airlines, but I did not review them or flog them, so I'll be looking to do that in the near future and see how they compared to Delta. Thank you for watching. If you are still watching, do leave a little comment that you are watching it to the end. That would be great. Our next video is going to be in Europe. I'm going to be traveling on Swiss Air from Amsterdam to Zurich. So once again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.